What's good, Roddy? Good, Connor. Everything went pretty well, brother. What's up, Dean? I'd be bullish today if I had to pick. What do I even deduce from this price action? New week opening gap's probably a breakaway. Just send me a message on Discord bands. I'll respond to everyone after stream. This is the 15-minute chart right now. Good escape from the Matrix. What's good, Akira? Good morning. Good morning, brother. It's a bank holiday, yeah. How did the surgery go? The surgery went well. It's just time for my vision to adapt now. It takes time to adapt. You trade bank holiday? I won't be trading on my live account. You take advantage of the crypto market? No. I have the drops right here, brother. I've been putting them, don't worry. AVGO? I don't even want to look, bro. I'd expect higher prices today. I'd expect higher. Appreciate you, no love. Is there room to trade? What do you mean, is there room? Like we're capped out at traders? Can you see properly? I can see better than before without anything, but it takes time for it to be 2020. It's not 2020 yet. The surgery went well. It takes time for the vision to be like 2020. I can see pretty good. Um, yeah. It'll take time to be 2020. I'm personally bullish today. I think will just go higher. Today is a bank holiday. Right now, no pain or discomfort, but during the surgery, there was a decent amount of discomfort. I feel like they really underestimated when they say you feel nothing. Like, it wasn't pain, but it was a lot of discomfort. Following the PO3, yes. Well, even following the PO3, not really. Not the daily PO3. If you want to look at the weekly PO3, yeah, it would probably stay lower. Do I think that's going to be an effect today? No. I think I think this stays a breakaway. Why are you trading a bank holiday? I'm not trading a bank holiday. I do think eventually it'll want to go here. Just don't think it'll do so right now. Nope, no stock positions yet. What are the indicators of the sessions? Can you see that up there? You think lows will be sought at New York City up and then up? I think it's possible we just get something like this right away, to be honest. But we'll see. Why are you live when you are not trading? I go live every day, brother. Tape read. The market is open today. Stock market is also open today. Indicators, ICT kill zones, and pivots. You don't have the option? Just go to a lower time frame. You'll see it then. Good street soda. I think the price will go for London High and then New Week opening gap up there. Possible. I really like London High and right here because it's right above London High. I say probably right here. I think that's a really good draw. I'd be bullish. The stock market, it's going to be open at 9:30, so in 9 minutes. I don't even have any evals to trade right now. Did surgery hurt? Didn't hurt, but it was uncomfortable. What's the game plan? We're gonna tape read longs today. You look at gold, of course. What do you think about the crash? I wouldn't call it a crash. Gold is just all-time highs bullish, man. There's not much you can do. Just find a way to get in discount longs. If you want to be aggressive, buy any fair value gap that's formed. I don't even have any evals. I suppose I could get an eval. I'll trade, just not on my accounts. I have a paper account open here. We'll follow the model. Tape read. Um, and we'll just see. Me personally, I think price is going to go higher. Does tape reading just mean sitting in front of the charts and predicting? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen. Right now, personally, I think it's possible we just pump right at 9:30. Although, what would be best case scenario? Something like that, I suppose. Like, I don't know. I personally don't think price trades into here, at least not today. It could. Could be wrong. I mean, I'm not risking any personal funds on this. I just don't. I think it stays a breakaway. I don't think it doesn't make sense that we get that breakaway and then we come back down. It doesn't really make sense. It should be a breakaway gap, but anything can happen. Is backtesting better or tape reading? Tape reading is more valuable if you're going one for one. If you can only backtest one day or tape read one day, obviously, of course, you want to tape read. Ow. Um, but the benefit of backtesting is you can do so many days. So surgery went well. How are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. Surgery went well. My vision is still recovering, but I can see a decent amount. It's not perfect vision. They said it'll come, it takes time as the tissues repair and stuff. Um, but it'll come. Are you trading today? Not on my personal accounts. Travis Scott's on? Can you show how to mark out all the opening gaps? You just go to the opening price, mark the closing price, mark the opening price, take your Fibonacci, mark out the 50%. You can mark out 25 and 75, or you can just eyeball it. I only have to wear the glasses outside. I'm allowed to use screens as long as I keep putting in the drops whenever my eyes get dry. I won my account just yesterday. I passed him. Now I don't know what to do. Trade your past account, brother. What time is the opening price? Which one? Midnight opening price is at midnight. 8:30 opening price is at 8:30. What's buys today? I got short. Personally, I'm bullish today. Would you recommend the surgery? Depends on your eye situation. Me personally, I was wearing contacts every single day. You trade Asia ever? Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes. You think it's gonna be choppy? It very well could be choppy. That's one of the main reasons I'm not risking personal funds today. Don't even want to sign into my broker. We got 5 days this week, guys. There's no point in forcing it on a Monday after crazy stuff happens. Um, if I'm being honest, my instinct tells me it's gonna be a nice delivery, higher. But how many hours do you trade after 9:30? Usually no more than 2. But it depends. Are we talking? I allow myself to trade any time of day. I don't have a time restriction. I prefer 9:30 to 11. That's my favorite session. That's my favorite time to trade. Um, I trade final 15 minutes. I trade Asia. I don't trade London. I'm always asleep during London, but PM, lunch, even sometimes. Like, you got to understand when the market is likely to move. It's not always likely to move 9:30 to 11. It's just most of the time you can at least find something 9:30 to 11. You can't show up every day and trade Asia or trade the final hour or trade lunch. You're gonna lose. You're gonna get chopped out most days. Most days you can show up at 9:30 and find something, at least 1 or 2 R, if not more. Yeah, because of the volume exactly. Stock market opens. Today is a bank holiday. That is correct. We'll keep an eye on some stocks. I already gave you guys my watch list. I don't know if you guys pay attention to that stuff, but everything is opening up higher. SoFi is opening up higher. Nvidia is gonna go to 200 probably. FUTU is probably gone. A-Lab's gone. Google, I would say, is gone. Robinhood is likely gone. Yeah, there's not much to work with. I wanted alerts. I had alerts down. Everything's opening higher. I don't like that. So we'll probably put the. I'll keep those on my watch list for now. But if you have 30 shares of Sophie, it's probably a. I think you're in a good spot. I think you're in a good spot. That's all I have to say. What's good, Mastro? Yeah, I like Asia as well. You trade only Nasdaq. I can trade gold, but there's no point. Um, especially when I can trade any time of day if I want to. I can just trade Nasdaq at a different time of day. The key sell side would be here, pre-market sell side. There is a pretty good statistic, like most of the time, not very often, but most of the time, if we take out pre-market highs, we're gonna take out pre-market lows. It's been one-sided too, so do mark out fib 2 and negative 2.5 for PO3. Never understood it. Depends what you're trying to measure. There's a lot of scenarios where you'd use fib and anchor differently. Personally, I'm bullish. I think immediate draw is probably the sell side though. Like I think we come and take out these lows. I'll have chat open today, by the way. Trade towards the week opening gap. I don't think we'll get there today. Personally, I want to see it stay open, but it's possible. Like there's really no way anyone can say for sure. It's not a clear scenario, no matter what anyone says. Why only lower time frames? I'm a day trader. Can you mark out opening gaps and regular trading hours? Can you opening gaps? Depends which one you're trying to mark. And no, you don't need to do it. You don't need to go to regular trading hours. You just need to know which time to mark out. All we can do is react. Um, by the time you're reacting, it's probably too late. I don't personally believe in that. The whole point of trading is to anticipate what's going to happen. You trade the future. You don't trade the past. Right? You can't say, "Oh, market went up, therefore we're likely to go up." Well, that's not reacting. That's expecting continuation. Every single trade is a prediction. I never understood people who say like just react to the what the market does. I mean, yeah, take the market information and make a prediction. That's how you. It's always going to be a prediction. Every trade is a prediction, right? Or a probability. It is a bank holiday today. Eyes are good. You trading? No. How was eye surgery? Surgery was good. My eyes are not perfect vision yet, but they're getting there, and hopefully they turn out to be good as soon as possible. You're so fresh without glasses. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even used to being able to see what's time for opening range gap. Opening range gap is 16:14 p.m. Eastern time, New York local time, and 9:30 open. So look, this is your opening range gap. Closing price 16:14. Then you have opening price 9:30. And these are levels we're gonna keep on the chart the entire week, most likely. Not most likely, 100%. Um, we should definitely keep these levels on the chart, and we're gonna mark out the very important quadrant levels. Okay, so we have 663.5. We're gonna mark that out. 50% opening range gap. It's annotated as Monday. Monday opening range gap 50%. Notice how you have 25% in pre-market sell side right there. That's a really, really good over. That's what you want to look for. You want to look for sell side liquidity pools that are inside of these gaps, and that's where you find the highest probability uh, draws on liquidity. So see pre-market sell side and 25% is right there. You already know 25% is likely to get hit on most days. If we have sell side there on top of that, this makes it even better. Um, Anyways, just marking out all the levels that'll be important for us. Hopefully we can remove. Nice. So Monday, we're gonna keep these quadrants anchored for the week. Make sure we lock them in place so they don't get moved around. Perfect. Now we can go back to electronic trading hours and watch price. Okay, why is that? Like that. We gotta anchor this. 20% less smooth to pre-market lows. Exactly, right? That's why it's a really good draw in my opinion. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty slow session though. So if I'm being honest. Just the way that it's forming. It still draws lower most likely, but yes, thank you. There is no other GatieTrades besides me. Don't trust the fakes, please. I think we gotta make this orange. Should price come down all the way here? I don't think it does today, but it's possible. Okay. Pre-market sell side, equal lows, 25% opening range gap. Looks like it's the immediate draw, right? You can check general chat. Mm. Is that real or is that Photoshop? Does it actually say that on YouTube? No way it says that, bro. Does it? I can't even check. It won't even let me. Okay, there's 25% plus pre-market sell side. So that was a nice tape read. Again, is there any way you can enter this trade? Probably not. That's not something you look to capture. You could argue once we inverse this wick, you get short in there. Yeah, sure. Super hindsight in my opinion. You trade gold? Rarely. I got eye surgery, LASIK surgery. You edited it? What's the indicator for 8:30 and 9? This is called ICT kill zones and pivots. Was LASIK painful? No. It was uncomfortable. I think they underestimate how uncomfortable it is. They tell you like, oh, you're not gonna feel anything. It's just a little bit of pressure. It's a lot more than a little bit of pressure. It's you think staring at the monitor will hurt your eyes. It won't hurt my eyes, but it will make them dry, which is why I gotta use these drops. I just tossed up took 11 trades, I only took 2. If you take partials or add into a position, or that all counts as different trades, you know? That's why. What is pre-market? Pre-market is 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. You think it's there? Yep, exactly. Do you hold gold? No, I don't. I'd rather hold stocks. God damn, these candles are big. Are they? Yeah, looks like we're in more volatile times. You trading today? Just tape reading. What's your idea tonight? I'd want to see a move higher, personally. First presentation in here. Um, I think we came down, engaged the sell side. 30 points. I mean, that's I've seen 70, 80 points, bro. So that's not much. But I'm just tape reading here for you guys. You take the drops on stream. I probably will if I have to, especially if it gets dry. This up here. Yep, it is day. That is day today. 30 points in 1 minute candle is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot compared to recent times. Yes. Would you take an A plus setup? No, I'm not even signed in. I'll outline the A plus setup though. I don't trade bank holidays, so we do have an inversion here. You could watch the bodies in here. If the bodies get really, really sensitive, that could be a trigger. But you see, ES hasn't taken out lows yet, so if you want the indicator settings, look at my most recent YouTube video. I posted all my chart settings on YouTube. Every indicator, every annotation, everything. All there. Can I pass alpha in 1 day? Alpha 0, yes. Alpha standard, no. That's alpha 0. Alpha standard would be 2 days. By the way, guys, if you guys use my code, on Alpha Futures, please send me a message because I am running a giveaway. 2 iPads. I don't even have an iPad, but we're giving away 2 iPads. If you use my code in October, just send me a message on Discord. If you don't message me, you will not be entered. I will not be able to enter you. So you gotta use my if you use my code just send me a message. Say, Gatie, I used your code. This is my first name. I'll get you sorted. Added to the giveaway. We're gonna announce the giveaway end of the month for the iPads. We'll do some other giveaways in between. Maybe this week we'll give away some alpha accounts. This is for alpha. Why are you trading today? See how the body's got sensitive in here? Like, you could buy that. Would I? No, I wouldn't, but that's what you look for. Sensitivity on the bodies. What do you mean? What do you mean when there's an SMT at the high and low? What do you do? I don't use SMT for direction at all. I use it as confirmation. I would ignore the one higher because I'm bullish, hypothetically speaking. You don't have to mute. I don't know what that guy said, but if all he did was ask why are you trading, that's okay. You don't even have to mute people for hating, unless someone's like saying like outrageous things, like completely out of context, or if they're like spamming, then mute them. I'm okay with just a regular hater. What do you think about trading the 5 to 15 minute chart? Yeah, you can do that if you want. What do you mean by sensitivity? What news were like 15 minutes ago? There was no news. Sensitivity means just watch how the candles trade at the level. How did the surgery go? Pretty good. What was the best chart to trade on? Probably Nasdaq. You're trading today? Nope. How's that FEG a breakaway gap? First presentation? I'd say pretty low, especially on a no news Monday. We take a trade setup? No, but I will outline a trade setup. Meaning I'll tell you guys if my model forms A+. I'll speaking tomorrow, great. I know, why's you always gotta speak at lunch, bro? So sloppy delivery in here, but doesn't take out the low. Will you be executing your trades or just watching? I can execute on paper if that makes people more content. But nothing on my live account or fundeds. And I don't even have an eval. So the main objective here is first present the buy side here. Pre-market highs. This is pre-market high. Pre-market lows to pre-market high is a very, very consistent setup. Very consistent setup. London highs and external draw. How would I trade this if I was? You gotta wait for a protraction model. That would probably be the best way. If you want to be an aggressive trader, you could get in something like this. So you bought it right now with a stop here. You could squeeze out 2R and your stop being that you don't want to see it trade back into this range. And if it does, should see extreme sensitivity. Again, not something I would take, but I mean, would I take this on another day? Yeah, maybe, but that stops getting hit. It's possible, yeah. I mean, it's a tape read, right? What is we? Can you give some tips for tape reading? Tips for tape reading? Mark out levels that you anticipate sensitivity or to be traded to, and watch what happens. Appreciate you, Rome. Why is my chart behind 10 minutes? Because you don't have real-time data. If this is really bullish, never mind. I was going to say it stays a breakaway here, but we shouldn't even trade back into this if we're really bullish. Bag. If we're not really bullish, that happens. Looks like that tape read will probably fail. Maybe, we don't know. Stops cover the inversion, right? Again, this is not a trade I'm in. Hopefully you guys understand this. I don't think it's worth taking anything today, personally. How do the eyes feel now? The eyes feel good. They do get dry at times. Um, it's not 20/20 vision yet, but it is getting better, I think. They say sometimes it gets worse. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like my vision was best after the surgery, or like a day after. Then it got a little bit worse, then a little bit better, and now I think it's a little bit worse. But they did say that was gonna happen. Like, it's gonna fluctuate up and down, up and down. Look at the sensitivity on the bodies there at first presentation. Like, that's what you want to note when you're tape reading. The sensitivities is right there. Like, see the bodies stop. That says something very important. Does it mean go short? No, it doesn't mean anything. And this is a tape read. But it's just important to study stuff like that. Would I have to pay for real-time data? Yes, or just get a prop from account. So see, we're working inside that inversion fair value gap. Now we're seeing sensitivity at both, 50%. So you'd want to see it get an attempt to move higher here. Above. See the bodies there? You want to see it get above first presentation now. Otherwise, it could get really choppy in here. It's also the macro. In fact, if we closed above first presentation, that would be my model. And that's a pretty good formation. Any other day, you could argue this is like A+. If we get above first presentation. So like something like that. That could be an A+ trade. Very well could be an A+ trade. Or it gets real sloppy in here. I recommend you to use blue light glasses. Maybe I'll do that. I recommend you. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll get some. How do I make my trading show me real-time trading? You have to pay for it. So first things first, you have to get what's it called? You have to get like a trading view plan, and then you have to purchase the add-on for CME data. So I'm looking at this. I think price wants to reach up here. We find sensitivity and discount. We're about to get the bullish order block right here. To me, this is actually a protraction model. So again, I'm not trading today, but if I wanted to execute something like this, it would not be against the rules. I think this is a very easy 1R trade. You can even squeeze out 1.5R if you got to fill at the OB high. Would I take this? No, this is just on any other day is what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's worth taking it today. Well, you would probably want to take lower RR setups on a day like this. What's good, guy? I take the first IFG targeting 930 after. Nice. Very good setup. You took it right here. As long as your stop was at the low, yeah, you're probably good. So trading back into first presentation. Trading back into this volume imbalance. And trading back into the order block. Three things. First presentation, order block, and volume imbalance. And 830 opening price. And that's it. Four things. That's a pretty good confluence for sensitivity, right? That's what you would want to see. These stacked levels is what you would want to see. I don't like how the body closes inside there, but as long as it doesn't close below 50%, that's the main thing you want to study here. Do the bodies offer sensitivity at 50%? The bodies will always tell the story very cleanly. They will always tell the story. Like here, big candle. Look at the bodies. It didn't even get below 50%, right? Look at the body here. Went above first presentation. Look at the bodies here. They didn't get to 50%. Look at this body. Didn't go below 50%. Is it going to go higher? I'm not saying it's going to go higher, but this is how you read the tape. How did the surgery go? Surgery went well. My eyesight is still recovering, but it should hopefully get better. What's that model called? Which one? The one where I tape read, the OB. I don't want to put the P&L tool on because I know people are probably just going to take the trade if I put it on. So you're going to have to listen if you want to know. But that would be my protraction model. Nope, not trading today. Just tape reading. I missed your ICT glasses. We'll get some new ICT glasses. Can you see better now? Better without any vision accessories? Yes. But it's not 20/20 vision yet. It still improves slowly. Again, just watch the bodies in here. especially when you're on the 1 minute chart. Like you got to be like realistically look how bullish this is, right? It's just on the 1 minute you see these down close candles, but again, down close candles should support price. If you're bullish, you can see the sensitivity there. Look at the bodies, right? Just keep telling them. See that volume imbalance snipe, like should see speed towards the high here. We do get an SMT here. You'd want to see this act as an inverse breaker now. I'm not going to annotate that. I think you guys get the idea. A very nice tape read. Very nice tape read. This price action is really good in my opinion. Very obvious move down to sell side. Right? Very obvious move down to sell side. And then now we're tape reading the move back to pre-market buy side. So pre-market, let me label this as pre-market buy side. And like I said, on a Monday with no news, it's very common we take out both sides of pre-market liquidity, especially if it's not taken before 9:30. We should see a pretty clean run. When do you expect a breakaway gap? This one should be a breakaway. Although it's been pretty overlapping recently. We do have an SMT there. I'm looking at this wick. Again, every time you see these levels, you want to look at the bodies. You want to see the bodies. You want to see the bodies. It's a premium array. Like I said, this one should be a breakaway gap. So if we're really bullish, we don't even trade back into here. We just speed up and take the highs. Why? Because we don't want to give these people a chance to get out. Focus on the body. You see, where does the body stop here? Or does the body get above 50% of the wick plus the fair value gap? I'll get a haircut today. Why is it now we're trading? I don't trade bank holidays. Took 3 wins. It's maybe one of the best price action I've seen this month. There you go. Want to buy more stocks when best time to buy is it now? I want to buy more stocks if that's what you're asking. Nothing. I have alert set. I don't want to buy it when it goes up. I want to buy it when it goes down. So I may miss if we just pump the entire week, which I think is possible. Did you buy crypto? I don't buy crypto. Why do you think the new week opening gap will be a breakaway? Because we're really bullish, in my opinion. The RC on the low, was that valid? I would treat this as the bullish order block because of how fast this expanded. This is your bullish order block right here. This down close candle. That's a little bit more complex ICT concept. Like, why is it this one? Yes, it's not your regular CISD, but this is a bullish order block. The market comes down, fails to take that low, and then immediately expands like that. When you see that sort of speed and expansion, that down close candle acts as your bullish order block, right? This is how ICT teaches it. Again, don't take my word for it. Look at the bodies here. Failing to get above 50%. But we could see a move into this fair value gap now. You thought we were going to run to NWAC? I personally don't think so, but it's possible. Unfunded X futures, which challenges? I would choose Rapid. Good, Leandro. You trading today? Tape reading. Bodies always tell the story. So now that we're inside that bullish fair value gap, again, same idea. You're looking at the bodies. Bro, this is the nicest price action ever. If this can continue, that'd be great. Tape reading means reading price live. Like, where was this the whole year? This was the most predictable price action ever. Like, this is like classic 22 algorithmic delivery. Like, what is this? Why every single down close candle is actually supporting price? When's the last time that happened? Not one single re, bro. No, I'm not in longs. Anyways, you see the bodies support at 50%. Now we're above 50% here. In my opinion, we trade a little bit down into the OB. We stay inside that wick. Don't go below zero. And we get a run to the buy side. No, I don't think CE of RTH gaps in play. I don't think lower is in play this week at all, to be honest. This guy here, you tape reading today? Yep. I cried when the first trade showed up and it didn't chop, right? I would target both. Depends where you got to fill. Say you have 10 contracts and you got in somewhere here. I'm going like 8 off and then 2 running. It's worth leaving 2 running because even if you have 2 micros running, that's an extra like what, $250? Probably worth it. But just pay attention to the bodies. Like, you don't need to stress the runner. If we start getting really choppy and slow in here, I just close it. You know, you don't even have to take anything off here. Just watch it. Say price just goes right through. Okay, don't close it. You know, say price gets there and then starts consolidating a little bit. Wicks. Okay, close it. You can be a little bit more reactionary, in my opinion. Freaking beautiful delivery. Wow. I'm making a post about this. Like every single piece. Like this is the algorithm. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is this is like exciting. I really hope this can continue for the rest of the week. It will be very easy to trade. Like wow. Every single PD array that we anticipated to be respected was respected. Now we get above that wick. Should see a pretty easy run towards the pre. Like here, this is where you watch it. This is where you watch the bodies. Always on and all lies. Do you guys think this can happen tomorrow, bro? Can I pay you just to tape read? You mean stop trading? Just tape read? You guys think the market's like this because I'm tape reading? There we close above the rejection block. So to me, I'm expecting. Actually, this is the rejection block. We should just go right above. I'm not even gonna mark that out. It will happen all week, hopefully. What was your bias? My bias was bullish. We tape read the move lower, found sensitivity at opening range gap 0.25 plus pre-market sell side. We talked about that being a high probability draw. We talked about this inversion fair value gap. We had 2 successful tape reads already, right? We talked about this one. Someone said I was going to get stopped. The fill was in here or something. It was like a 2R. We had another successful tape read, which was like this. There's the pre-market. So now you watch it. If you're in this trade, you watch. Watch the body. Does it get quick in here? Look at ES. Looks really bullish, right? ES is, there's a really good chance ES reaches for London. So there's no need to close yet. If you have a TP here, just watch it. In fact, what you can do is what you can do now is just put your stop loss right here. It's just kind of free money, right? Just being a little bit patient. Yeah, it could have wicked and absolutely dumped, but Crazy good price action, bro. Wow. Where would your entry be in the move with the FHGs on the move down? I talked about my first entry being in here. Like I said, London high is the objective. And I would just put my stop right here below the market. If you really want to be diligent, put the stop right there. And you mark the OB. Every down close candle here is an order block. Yeah, I mean, we got one reversal model, so that played out. One, two, three protraction models, all played out. Crazy. Tell me why I can't set a stop loss on trading bait. Of course you can. Took this, TP was first presented. That's okay. No, I didn't. I don't trade bank holidays. What about weekly opening gap? Isn't that a strong draw? It is a strong draw, but only in the right narrative. And in my opinion, it's more likely to stay open than to move higher, at least for now. If we're going lower, it's a strong drop. If we're going higher, in my opinion, these equal highs. Such nice price action, man. Wow. Isn't it kind of high resistance? Um, no. I'm OCD. I need clean charts. I'm really getting hard from this price action. It's actually insane how nice this is. And we're also going to get another protraction model here, most likely, towards London High, potentially. Wow, it's crazy. Such a nice delivery. I just want to show you are. I really hope it could be like this every day. Cleanest day of the decade. It's really nice. I will say that much. Better not go back to normal. Nice order block in here. We'll see if that can deliver higher. Give you everything you want and need. I just wanna show you are. Let's get an anchor text in here. Oh, this is how you tape read. This will be a good study. Really, what this is just the nicest 950 macro delivery ever. That's what this is. I was bullish today, yeah. How long you been trading? It's been around 2 years. What is pre-market liquidity? 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. There's no manual intervention? I guess. Maybe. Hard to say. Should I just take plus 500 instead of waiting for London highs to get tapped? I would take the bulk of the liquidity off here. That's what I would do. Probably Tesla will be kind of dip back down to support. Yeah, possible. I got a gold W nights. I'm holding the buy, debating if to hold till highs. Just watch for the bodies, I'd say. If we close back below here with a body, if it was me, again, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm saying what I would do. If we got a body closure below the high here, after already going up, then no. ICT ebook is in the Discord. Thank you, Finn. That's very nice, bro. No, I don't trade bank holidays. I don't believe it's an early closure today, no. Do you need any help? No. What platform do you trade? Alpha Futures, Funded Next are my top two right now. You're in the same trade as me. Why not trade bank holidays? What's the reason? Most of the time, bank holidays are pretty choppy. Very low volatility, very unpredictable. A lot of big players don't participate on bank holidays. Um, you bullish or bearish? I was bullish today. This is really good volume, yeah. Are you live every day? Every single day. Doesn't make sense because New York Stock Exchange is open today. Yep, it is open, but it's still a holiday. Just pretend if you were a big baller player, you're probably taking the day off, especially after seeing what happened over the weekend. Why not trade bank holiday? Yeah, that's the reason. The tape reading. So yep, exactly. Caught 1 hour to the pre-market highs, walking away. No chance of giving this back. No chance, bro. I would do the exact same thing. I also didn't trade with Daniel was so clean. Take profit trader. I don't like that you have to build a buffer. It's not my style. Trade breakdown. I didn't take a trade. Tape reading. 40% more after the retracement at 1502. 1502. 1002. You bought more here. I would not be buying in premium. You buy in discount. If this is the range, you don't want to be adding positions here. If you got in here, you can add around here, but that's it. I wouldn't be adding in there. Now, obviously, you could be looking, which I'm assuming you're looking for the higher target. Could you buy in here? Yeah, I mean, you could. You in here, if you got in a good fill, it's not the worst because you are pretty much in discount. You done with Top Step? It's been a while since I've traded Top Step, if I'm being honest. Maybe one day I'll start up Top Step again. Aqua, don't know anything about that firm. People today bank calling us. People will see today's bank holiday and ask why the next 10 bank holidays they lose. Yeah. Is it worth taking a trade today? That's something you have to ask yourself. For me, no, it's not worth it. I'm 5 for 5 in my eval. Nice. I hope that can continue, brother. Why you stop trading with Top Step? Alpha's just a lot better. Payouts on Alpha are really easy. 2478. 24758. Yeah. One index is good. Yeah, I use one index too. Payout size would you recommend to go on 100k zero? Bro, as soon as you're eligible on Alpha, take the payout. You don't even have to think about how much you should take. Just take it out. It's worth it. NYC had a textbook set up and people say don't trade today. Just because there was a textbook set up today doesn't mean trading bank holidays is a good idea. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying don't judge it based off of one day. Operation was good. My eyesight is still recovering. It's not 2020. They said that can take a week or two before it's like perfect. QT funded. Take equity edge. What's the difference between zero eval and standard eval? I would just search it up on their website, bro. They'll answer a lot better. Basically, standard's more expensive, but you can make more money. Zero's a lot cheaper, but you make less money. That's pretty much it. Yeah, today's move was better than almost every day in the last couple months, in my opinion. This was the easiest price action to read ever. Like, perfect delivery. This is exactly what ICT taught in 2022. Like, would you exit now? If you haven't taken anything off the position, I'd probably put my stop right here at 872 and just let it go. Why here? Because there is an SMT there. How much is the profit split on Alpha 50K futures? It starts at 70 and it goes up to 90. So you want to work towards that 90% profit split. Can help you? I don't need help. What do you think about instant funding? It's not a bad option. Yeah, FTBO is a great prop firm for Forex. If you see a good position on holidays, do you still skip the trade? Yeah, I do. You have to decide beforehand what you're gonna do. I'll tell you guys why. Because this ended up delivering really nicely, right? But if at any point in time, the market started doing this, would any of us have been surprised? No. So how am I gonna say, oh, the setup formed? Yeah, the setup's gonna form every day. This model it's a 1 minute. Because my model forms almost every day. You know. At any point in time, it could have easily just started consolidating, in my opinion, in my experience. I don't have to build a buffer with the other firms I trade with. Nope. No buffers, man. Just be requesting that money. Funded next or alpha? Both. Use both. I would start with alpha and then move to funded next because alpha is a little bit easier. In terms of return on investment. But yeah. Why did it take long? I don't trade bank holidays. I don't know, man. Banks were still open today. I saw price. Banks were not open today. The stock market was open today. Banks were not open. And if you want to trade it, that's fine, man. You don't have to. I don't have to convince you to not trade. You don't have to convince me to trade. We're all on our own journeys. You're not gonna. No one's gonna be able to convince me to trade bank holidays. I've tested over hundreds of bank holidays. So unless the next 20 bank holidays deliver very nicely, I'm not gonna be trading them. You can trade them. I'm not trying to convince you guys to not trade bank holidays. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just telling you guys why I don't. Which firms you don't have to build a buffer? To my knowledge, okay. I'll tell you what. There's firms you don't have to build a buffer, and there's firms that you don't have to. But if you request a payout without one, you blow the account. Okay. The only firm out there where you don't have to build a buffer and you actually get to work with the account after the payout is Alpha Futures. Because not only do you not need a buffer, when you request payout, your maximum loss limit doesn't get set to 0. Okay? That's the only firm that does that. Now, Funded Next doesn't require a buffer. Funded Next doesn't require a buffer. However, if you make $800 on Funded Next, you can request it all, but you blow the account. So that's why I like Alpha more, because if you make $800 on Alpha and you request it, you still have $1,200 to work with. And that account's going to get another payout, You're going to get a really good return on your investment. Top Step doesn't need a buffer, but you need a buffer. Like, unless you want to get just one payout, you have to build a buffer on Top Step. Can you explain the buffer bit of the firm and explain why they require it? They basically say, I'll tell you why. Because if you make, say on Top Step you have $1,000 and then you request 500, you only have 500 left on the account with. That account is going to get blown. If you have $500 worth of drawdown, unless you're going to trade one micro forever, that account is going to get blown, So you can't really request the money you made. So that's why I don't like that's why I left Top Step. Because the amount of times I was able to trade a Top Step account, and I used to risk like 150, I would get to like 1,000, 1,200. I would never be able to request. I'd be like, I gotta build a buffer. And I'm always chasing a buffer, never requesting money. On Alpha Futures, I don't have to do that. On Alpha Futures, I make money, I request it. Money hits my bank account, I put it into my live account, and we scale. I don't even have to scale with props. I can just scale my live account. Apex requires a buffer. Apex, yes. The only firm that does that is Alpha Futures. Now, there are firms out there. You don't need a buffer on Alpha? No. I see many people talking about losing due to no risk management. I think you should talk about it. I think my next video will be on risk management. How does it work on Alpha? On Alpha, if you make $500, you can request $500 and you have 1,500 left on the 50K account, for example. Damn, I know I might have to get with them now. It's really good for your first couple payouts. When you buying in, I'm not buying in. Damn, I ain't got enough. Yep, that's the only requirement. Gatie explained the safety net rule and how to get a payout from it. On Apex, the easiest way to trade Apex is you're going to trade 1 to 2R setups only. Don't take profits more than 2R. Just 1R or 2R. Pick one. Aim for that, maybe 1.5 if you want to do that. And you're going to keep trading until you make 2,500 on the account. Once you make 2,500 on the account, then you can start thinking about payouts. That's it. That's how you trade Apex. It's a long-term investment for Apex. Apex is trash. Don't you got phone? It's not trash. Apex has its perks. Can you do 0 and have the buffer? So on zero, it'll look something like this. You make 1,000, you request 500, you have 1,500 left on the account to work with. What happens if I make 1,700 today with 50% contingency target and 3,000, but I was in 500 drawdown? It doesn't matter if you win drawdown. Your best day is 1,700. If I were you, I would just lose 200, to be honest. That's probably the easiest thing to do. May I ask why you took shorts? I didn't take shorts. Price makes another market structure shift. Yep. People can trade, they just need to put their feelings aside. Yeah, I feel like most people know how to trade. Um, but it's all about mental skills, not about trading skills, in my opinion. What's the difference between payout and drawdown? That's that's a bad question. I'll be honest. What's the difference between payout and drawdown? What? Payout is the money that you request from the account. You getting paid. That's what a payout is. Drawdown is how much money you have on the account to work with. Yes. Uh, that's crazy. I took another long and 950 macro to the draws. Yeah, that's really nice. Ever look into FTMO? FTMO is probably the best forex firm out there. Definitely up there. Sorry, I'm new. Now you're good, bro. Payout is what you request after you make money. I am giving away 2 iPads, and we'll give away some alpha accounts this week too. Back into first presentation. That's a lot of speed. And if we get below this low, there's a chance we get to new week opening gap, in my opinion. So again, we're still tape reading. So we work inside that buy side. We do get the inversion, breaker, strong market structure shift. Back into first presentation. I think there's a 5-minute in there, although I don't think this is a retracement. This looks pretty bearish. So to me, I'm looking at this. I'm saying, do we make a new low of day? ES does have those equal lows still open. Or we just stay range bound now, meaning we could just stay inside this 50%. Like, it could get choppy now that the opening range has done its thing, 9:30 to 10. Do you have to go to RTH to hit the week opening gap? No, that one's on electronic trading hours. Reverse right now? Possible. Definitely going to chop now. I would assume chop. I just joined. What's going on? Tape reading? 1 hour suspension block bullish. Aaron Gordon. Are you the NBA player by any chance? Yep, you could look for another long opportunity in here. 100%. If you're still bullish, that is. That's the kind of woman say good things. You should. Would you still be bullish here? Would I be bullish? Probably depends on the speed higher. This is a strong move, and I feel like that's pretty telling. I'd probably be bearish. I think this stays range bound like this, so it's a kind of woman. So we trade into this fair value gap here. Which fair value gap? I'll show you which fair value gap. This fair value gap. What you know about that fair value gap? Nothing. You know nothing. Oh, my foot went numb. So this can be another tape read short. Again, I wouldn't take this trade. Say you got to fill inside first presentation 50%. Stop at the high. I wouldn't take this trade, and I am not taking this trade. But we can tape read this idea. Also, let's make this blue. Make that gray. Actually, let's go with. I like that. Yeah. Another tape read trade. Whoops. Basically expecting these up close candles to support price lower. Right? That's the idea. I'm not going to keep the P&L tool because I know people will copy trade. We are bearish now. Also came from a breaker block with sell. Yeah, possibly. OTE concept. Yep, we are in optimal trade entry for longs. That is true. I shorted S&P on the S&P targeting lows. Nice. What is an implied fair value gap? When two wicks touch like this, 50%, 50%, take each, you get an implied fair value gap. If I'm not mistaken, I basically think that there's like an inversion in somewhere in here on the lower time frame, like seconds. On alpha futures, what is the difference between standard, advanced, and zero? Okay, put it this way. Zero is the cheapest one. You can make the least amount of potential money. Standard is the second most expensive. You can make more money than the zero, but it's more expensive. Advanced is the most expensive, but you can make the most money. So figure out where you're at and what you're willing to spend. I recommend if you have zero payouts to start with zero and then work towards standard. Standard is what I use. I'm probably always going to use standard, but that's just me. In what way can you earn more money? The payout cap is larger. That's it. The payout cap's larger. Yeah, they give you 90% on zero, but you can only request 50% and the payout cap's 1,500, right? So standard, there's no payout. Standard payout cap's 15,000. Although the split is less, you can work up towards 90%. What are you targeting? Sell side here. On ES at least, I'd say. You trade crypto? No. So far, nothing right now. Let's go, Jerry. An implied FPG, a new concept, never heard it till now. It's not new. ICT taught it a long time ago. Are the 50K funded on Top Step? You think it's a good profit? Yeah, Top Step is a great prop firm. You would never need anything more than Top Step. Okay, now we have the bearish fair value gap. So remember we talked about converging levels? We have a bearish fair value gap here. Let me not say bearish fair value gap. The SIBI here. And we have the opening range gap high, today's. And we have the bearish order block. Oops. If the market's going to go down, it should, find sensitivity here. All these levels are overlapping. That's what you want to look for. Overlapping levels, and then bodies. The bodies will tell the story. How do you plan to trade your 25K from fund to next? I'm going to risk 125 per trade. And when I get $800, I'm going to request a payout, blow the account, and then buy like 5 evals, 6 evals. You think we hitting opening range gap equal lows? These? If we get sensitivity here on the body, yeah, I do. It's kind of hard to say for sure, though. Like I said, it could also just stay real choppy in this range now. We did a lot of work today. We ran sell side and we ran buy side. So yeah, now we have a new dealing range. But we ran both sides of the marketplace for anyone pre-market. There's probably not that much liquidity resting below these highs and lows because we've done a lot of work, already. So why can't you just trade and stay quiet? Why everyone want to be gurus now? I don't know what that means, to be honest. But I'm just here to trade. That would be body sensitivity right there. What's your go-to firm? Alpha Futures. Yep, I only trade NQ. Why people gotta hate? I mean, I don't know, man. Will you be keeping up the rank gap level 2? I will be keeping them, yep. When they're really large like this, it's really good to keep them. If this short plays out too, oh my, it's gonna be so nice. It'd be so nice. I don't know how people gotta hate. Imagine you're doing this all free and people still hate. Yeah, I don't know, man. US 30 is correlated with NQNES? Yes. You don't need to spam. Just send it once. You don't take buy side, take the minor buy side. This is your pre-market liquidity. Pretty important buy side, I'd say. If they start spamming again, then you can get them. Can you explain the red text at the bottom? This long here is really high probability because of all these things. That's what the red text is for. What is the easiest prop firm? Alpha futures. I don't know why you take this. I don't know why take short though. The range is bullish. The internal is just testing Q liquidities. Why not wait? I didn't take a short, my brother. How do you get started? Search up candlestick basics on YouTube. That's what I would do. Need them chart in PD array colors. I have it all on my most recent YouTube video. My most recent YouTube video has all these for you guys. All these colors. All there. I give you guys my templates. If you want them, it's up to you guys. Mm-hmm. What do you think about extending first presentation for the whole week? You can. I don't personally. I don't personally. Why do you think we didn't sweep line highs? Didn't need to. Smart money that bought here exited enough here. That's how I view it. You know, if they had a problem closing a position, they would send it to London highs, or they want to engineer more liquidity here. Why aren't you more bullish? I'm not bullish or bearish. I'm just reading the tape. Not looking to take any trades. Not today. We're now getting above this civvy. You know Mentor Iwan effects? I think it's gonna sweep. No, I don't know that guy. I think it's gonna sweep the leg and go back to the breaker block. We'll see. This would be the breaker in here. I'm gonna remove this annotation. We'll just focus on the implied IVG and this breaker. So we'll annotate that breaker. I think it's probably gonna inverse. I'm not gonna annotate it. This is the bearish breaker. If you're bearish, you're trying to get short inside premium of this range. If you're bullish, well then you're probably already in longs. Targeting the London high here. And if you make a 2,500 buffer, your drawdown goes up to, so you can't request. For what firm? On Alpha, you could request 25, but then you requested all your profits, so you're done. That'd be any firm. What broker should I use as a beginner? Use prop firms. Don't use a real live brokerage account. Better to save your personal money for when you're more experienced. Meaning you don't have to put in real money into a real account. That's what prop firms are for. Oh my god, I can't watch streams because I changed my plan and lost. Yep. I mean, if that's what you gotta do. Should I get an Alpha Zero account or a My Fund and Futures account? I would get Alpha Zero personally, but I'm also not the most experienced with what's it called? Um, Alpha My Fund and Futures. I don't understand the Alpha Futures payouts. If I make 3K, my 100K zero, I can request it. You can request 1,500, and you would have 2,500 left of drawdown. So extend that old inversion fair value gap. See if it gets back above it. It was used for shorts here. So now you could look for reusing it long if we get the inversion. How much do you need to make on Alpha Zero to request a payout? You can make 500 and request 250. How does the Alpha Zero payout work? You just need 40% consistency. That's the only rule. It's not a rule. It's the only criteria. Make a bag on the retest, calling it a day. There you go. So I'd look at this. We inverse that implied fair value gap, traded back into it, moved higher. Why that specific FEG where price is now? Because this is the fair value gap that was used on the inverse to send price lower. And it's below the high here. So we have the fair value gap here. We get above the high and then we break down. I like this one. It's also a really obvious, clean one. It was used here, 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 and then we finally broke down. To me, that's a true support and resistance level, if you want to say that. Longs, I like longs. I think longs look pretty good right now. If I had to pick a side. No, I don't trade on bank holidays. So if you pass your funded and the next day you make 1,500, can you request that? No. The only criteria is 40% consistency. So you would need 3 wins, pretty much, if you want to do the minimum amount of work. I'm just tape reading. I would be paper trading if I wasn't on live stream. But if I'm on live stream and I place a trade, everyone will just copy. I don't want to influence anyone on a day. I don't want to influence anyone on a day where I'm not even risking my own money. It just feels wrong. I don't mind people copy trading me, but if people are going to copy trade, I would rather they do it while I'm actually risking my funds as well. So when pressing a payout, I need to leave something for the drawdown? No, you don't have to leave anything. It'll leave that buffer for you. So on alpha, let's say you make $1,000. Okay, let's say you're on a 100K account and you make 1,000. You request 1,000. Okay, you have 3,000 left to work with. You can request the full 1,000, but you have 3,000 still. You can still go into the negative balance on that account. No, I don't trade. And then they blame me. Yep, exactly. Hitting my balance at 5,800, just started the funded. So what you need is 40% consistency. So if you want the easiest payout, are you on a zero account or standard? If you're on a zero, it doesn't trail. The drawdown does trail. But when you request a payout, it doesn't get set to zero. Okay, if you made 800, how much are you risking on average? Like, is that like a really best case scenario for you? Because if you're at 800, I'd probably just keep. If you're making around 800 on your wins, I would just go for the max payout. You risk 250. I'd probably just go for the max payout, bro, if I was you. Just get to 53 and request 15, and you have 15 left. Does it always trail or up 2K? It trails up to 2K, exactly. Does zero qualified have a maximum loss limit that updates at end of day drawdown? Yes. Gatie, on a 25K Apex, you have to make 1,600 as a safety net, right? And then I can request 500. I think it might be 2. Yeah, I think it's something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's probably something like that. So see, working inside that inversion. What's the cheapest prop firm you would recommend? Um, also zero right now is pretty cheap. No activation fee, 25% off. Why not the whole? They won't let you. Then with that 1.5, yep, exactly, BL. So with the zero account, that's what you want to do. You want to cycle those payouts like every week. Eventually, when you get a couple of payouts, I would switch to standard. That's what I would do. That's what I did when I used the zero. Holding high incoming. Most likely. We now inverse that fair value gap. We inverse the breaker here. I'm not going to mark that out, but that would be right here. We get above the breaker. Look at the bodies there, man. It's very nice sensitivity. We get above the breaker. Probably see a speedy run here. I'd assume this to be a speedy run higher, but we'll see. Is it bright funded? Never heard that in my life. Seek and destroy it? Doesn't look like seek and destroy at all to me. I don't trade bank holidays. What's the payout cap if you request 1,500 on the account is blown? You just can't request more than 1,500 at a time. You would have 1,500 left in drawdown. In for 3 micros, probably going to take one off with the current AM higher than rest at London. I think that's a good plan. Zero account uncapped payouts? No, the cap is 1,500. What do you have London highs marked at? 24945. If you want to be more precise, use the mini, which would be 24946 or 2495.75. Your eyes are fixed. They're not 100%, but they're good. In long since that first IPG you marked out. This one? Nice. No activation fee? Not on a zero account. Are you looking for longs or buys? Nothing. I'm just tape reading right now. I do think it's going to go higher, though. What do you think is best profit target for Apex funded after passing, like maybe 250 or 500? Depends which account. Standard account uncapped payouts, or the cap is 15,000. The cap is 15,000. Gonna reinverse again, I think, in dip. Maybe. Benefit of standard account. You can request 100% of what you make. It applies to payout request. So the 40%, the way it works is when you go to request payout, so don't worry about it day to day. Like don't say, oh, I made this much. How much can I make today? Don't do that. When you request a payout, 40% of your total balance, right? Your best day can't be more than that. Why buy zero then? It's cheaper. Zero account's 3 times cheaper than the standard. So if you're starting out, you don't want to put that much money into your first account, which is not a bad thing. At the end of the day, it's all about return on investment, right? Yeah, standard you can make more money, but what if you blow 3 accounts before you get your first payout? You might actually make a bigger return on the zero account. Or maybe it's your style. Maybe you're a scalper, right? Or maybe you trade every single day. Standard has activation fee, so it's not cheaper. On the zero account, maybe you trade every day and you want to aim for 200 winning days every single day. Well, then the zero account's perfect for you. If you take trades every day, you can aim for payouts every single week. If you're more selective with your trades, and you're probably going to take payouts every 2 weeks, like it all depends. Also, how much money do you have to invest? Can you afford to, get an Alpha Futures standard account, pass it, pay the activation fee, and then if you blow it, is your bank account going to be hurting? If so, then don't get the standard, right? Explain the consistency rule real quick for the zero account. I missed it. It's this very simple step. I'll write it down for you right here. Best trading day cannot exceed That's it. It's right here. That's all it is. If it does, you just have to make more money. That's it. Alpha Futures subscription service though counts $99 a month for 50K accounts. It's $99 a month until you pass. So as long as you don't take more than 1 month to pass, you're good. Zero payout every 2 weeks or 5 minimum. You can do it in 1 week. If you have a zero account, I would look to trade every day, to be honest. I think it's worth the risk. So basically, NAS trading, if you say you make $1,000, you can make no more than 400 in 1 day, And if you do make more than 400, it's fine. Your account's fine. You're just not going to be eligible for payout right now. You're going to have to make a little bit more money. So let's say I want to withdraw 2K. I got to make 800 a day. No, you don't have to make 800 a day. Your most you can make would be, let me double check. You don't have to make 800 every day. The most you can make is 800. You can make anything. That's it, The most you can make. Assuming you request a payout when you make 2,000, by the way. If you made 3,000, but you want to request 2,000, for example, well, then you can make more, right? You can make 1,200. So listen, bro, honestly, as long as your wins are somewhere around, like, if you average 2R to 4R, you're fine, bro, Just don't have like 1R, 1R, 9R, 2R, 10R. Like, it's going to be hard. 6, 6, yeah. Just pass my zero counter today, one trade. There you go, bro. If I want to request 1.5K from Alpha Zero, I can't make more than 600 or more than 1.2K. If you want to request 1.5K, you have to make 3K, which means you can't make more than 1,200. Exactly. 1,200. 1,200 can be your best. And if you do make more than 1,200, it's like I said, it's fine. You're just gonna have to make more than. You're more than fine, yeah. So I would go for the 1.5K request if I were you, since you're risking 250. Can you pass zero count in one day? Yep. Ain't the payout cap for zero count 1.5K? Yes, the payout cap is 1.5K. Gatie, did you see that insider trading happen with Trump was saying on Friday? I'm not surprised, bro. How are your eyes? They feel good. How do you trade a funding account with trailing drawdown? You gotta just keep it 1 to 2 R setups. Did you win or lose today? I don't trade bank holidays. Is it a good idea to buy NASDAQ now in the portfolio for long term? I wouldn't buy now, personally. But I don't want to give financial advice. Have you entered a long position? No, I don't trade bank holidays personally. How do you feel about daily power 3 with standard deviations? Did pretty much my model, I would say. Hit SLL good? Yeah, that was a good trade, Jerry. Gatie, what after you get you would have 1,500 left, Abdul. You'd have $1,500 left on the account to work with. Can you show me? Show you what? Today as an example? Yes. Sure. Although today just looking like a range bound day. It's probably not the best. So the idea would be something like this. Okay? This is going to get confusing for some people. So I don't know if I want to do this, but let's say the market is predisposed to go lower. Okay? You're going into the day bearish. This is hindsight, obviously, but let's say that. How do you use standard deviations to project daily highs and lows? Number one, you have to find your key liquidity pools. In this case, I'm looking at this one. Why this one? First of all, this is Asia low, and second of all, it's your dealing range low. It's very clean, and you get what I'm saying by clean? Like, it's your most prominent low. There's nothing else here besides this, okay? And you're working with this in the day. So if this is your manipulation above midnight opening price, you can anchor the swing and see how far lower do we go below. So this is your range from the body high to the body low. How much lower below this low can we go? 0.25, 0.5. Now, if you're bullish, right? If you're bullish, it's different, right? You're looking at this high as a key objective, okay? Now, usually you don't want to do this with intraday objectives. You want to do this with, like, how do I say this? You want to do this with other objectives. But the idea is, this is really not clean. You'd have to drop down to where the body forms a low. Okay, so let's say the 5-minute chart. And you would do something like this. So how much higher above London high can we go? You would look at 0.25. Why do I like 0.25 too? I talked about this off stream. There's a gap right there too. So again, it all still depends on direction, right? I personally, did we take Asia lows today? So let's say you're looking at this low and we're focusing on like New York Power 3. You're focusing on this low, okay? So you go to 8:30 open. Go to the 1-minute chart. Mark out the body high to the body low. How much lower below that low can we go? 0.25, 0.5, 0.75. Okay? This is power of 3 high and low projections. That's all I'm going to say on that. I don't want to spend any more time on that. Like, that probably went over a lot of people's heads anyways. Consolidation activation. Sure, if you want to call it that. You can request more than 50% zero. Yes. That's sauce. It's not my sauce. It's ICT's sauce. Will it spot the manipulation leg of the distribution? That'll help you predict daily highs and lows. And ideally, you're trading towards that level. That would be the best way to do it, in my opinion. Now, can you take trades off of the expansions? Yeah, sure. But like I said, there's so many ways to use standard deviations. It's all about the narrative. A lot of people don't realize that. You can't just take any leg and be like, oh, 1.5. You really have to know which PO3 you're deviating and for what purpose and when. You know, that's really important. A really easy one is the highest high and lowest low below 930. From 10 into 930. So this, if we're gonna close bearish, there's a good chance we trade to 0.25. And if we're gonna close bullish, there's a really good chance we trade to 0.25 there. So you can use that to your advantage, for example. That's actually my own sauce. Although I found that myself based on what ICT taught. You can request, yeah, exactly. It's going down to those equal lows, right? Most likely, that's what it looks like now. We inverse first presentation, traded back into it. Probably see some speed there. 1050 macro. This is the last thing we'll tape read. That's the best way to do this would be just draw fib. I like this as your bearish order block. Because as soon as that candle printed higher, that's when we saw the speed and expansion lower. What the fuck are you spotting these and you're going past under staying? Um, sorry, I don't understand your question, brother. The question what I was outlining here is how much lower below this low can we go? Like if the market is gonna take this low, how much lower below it can we go? That's what I was outlining there. That's the idea. But you have to have that narrative beforehand. It's first, yep, now it's a premium array. Exactly. Will be gold's next move? Probably up, brother. Did it offer any discount longs? Someone asked me in live stream today. I said look for discount long. You could argue 945, I guess. If you going lower, I would tape read to move lower. I would assume it's more likely to go down than up if you ask me. But again, you don't really doesn't have to take out this low. It's done a lot of work. It could just be premium discount moves. Although ES has sell side open, and that's why I prefer lower to be honest. You don't think I should go long back to 25384? 5384. I think that's a good draw for the week. Um, Here's another example of the implied fair value gap. Or even better yet, let's make it real simple. Pretty clean day. We'll see if it takes a sell side. Probably be coming to NWAG this week. I would say depends what today does. I prefer seeing it as a breakaway gap. How much would you suggest a beginner to risk on an eval per trade? 50k eval. I think 250 is good. If it's your first ever account. What's the difference on wealth charts, rhythmic, and trade of 8 plans? Use trade of 8. The other ones are not that good. Do markets close early? I don't think so. but don't quote me on that. I can't even see this. What is this? I think it's gonna go lower. I don't know where we're gonna close, but I think there's a good chance we take out that low, if that's what you're asking me. So final tape read of the day. We'll see if we take out that sell side below here. Let's see if we can extend. ES is the main objective on these lows. So we're just tape reading this final move. Pre-market sell side. Did you get these long? No, I don't trade bank holiday. You think that's going to go lower when we close below the low? I think it could potentially reach lower, but again, would I look for that? No, I would take the bulk of the position off somewhere here. Not even at the low, just somewhere here. And if you want to leave runners, that's up to you. If you take a long, after sell side, maybe. Ever came across the message on Alpha when trying to buy account? Trade doesn't allow single letter or special character names. Please enter your name. No. But if you were to ask Alpha Futures that, they'd probably fix it really quickly for you. Do you risk the same amount every trade or depends on conditions? I risk the same amount every trade. Yes. But sometimes I start the trade with less risk. Meaning, say I want to risk 250 per trade. Sometimes I'll start with maybe 150 and then look to add extra as the trade goes on. Is 2% account growth in a day good? That's insanely good. That's too good. If you were to do that consistently, that's insane. What's the red box I marked? That's a bearish order block. Do I have a video showing how I mark my YouTube videos? Kind of. Can you explain order blocks? I don't think I should explain order blocks. I have a video on order blocks and how I use them. I would watch ICT's 4-hour lecture on order block theory. You don't think 2%? I mean, 2% every day would be. I don't think 2% every day would make you a billionaire very quick, brother. I don't. You don't have to be consistent with that. All you have to do is if you're making 2% on average when you win, all you have to do is find ways to lose less when you lose. That's it, right? Go back to all the losses and see if there's a way for you to lose less. Did you watch ICT over the weekend when he dropped? Yep, I've seen everything. Did you trade already? No, I don't trade market. I don't trade bank holidays. Will Powell make the markets volatile tomorrow? Probably. Yeah. It could be slow in the morning and then fast in the afternoon. That's an order block. I don't understand order blocks. I'll explain it the way ICT would explain it. This up close candle, right? As soon as this up close candle gets put in, we see this large explosive move lower in a market that's more likely to run sell side because we're in premium and we've taken out buy side. Okay, 1050 macro is a key time where you'd expect a move lower from premium to discount. So why is it this one? Because it rests in premium, in a premium market. It's also in the optimal trade entry from that current dealing range. And it's the up close candle before the explosive move down. So that's your ICT bearish order block. There's a lot of narrative. Yep, the entire candle. There's a lot of narrative when it comes to an ICT order block. And honestly, I don't think it's something I would even ever want to teach, personally. I don't think I can even understand it fully. Not the way he explains it, at least. There's a lot of narrative built behind which one is the order block. I know the way I teach it is, oh, if it's a fair value gap, um, or a low swept, use that one. Yeah, that's what I use for my trading, um, which is kind of different. Done for the day. I'm out. Nice. How much you risk on a per trade 100K account? On my funded account, I risk 0.25% or 0.5% as of right now, but that may drop. I don't think I like 0.5. I find that when I take partials, it ruins my R, then the losses become the same or bigger than my wins. What do you do to overcome this? Great question. You need to develop a proper partial system. We'll probably end the tape read here. You need to develop a proper partialing system so that doesn't happen, right? You're probably taking partials too early. If your target's only like 1 or 2 R, don't partial. Just close the position, right? And then you also have to do something about those losses. You got to find a way to make your losses less. What is the best on the next account for beginners? Use the rapid. 25K rapid. Average are the best. I think he was talking about futures, but I can't confirm that. If we get below here, this will be a final tape read. Final tape read idea. I find that when I take my profit route, look at trade. No, I don't trade bank holidays. Just because really wants you to pass an eval, 40%. Your TP, my SL. You were in long this whole time, or did you just enter longs? And this is not my TP, by the way. I'm tape reading. Oh, you just entered? Okay, okay, I get you. I think the draw is massive until NWOG. Possible. I don't think that happens today. I personally want to see it stay open, but like I said, there's really no one in the world who can say it is or isn't. Very well could go into there. It's obviously a strong draw. You got auto liquidated today? What happened? I would say long off resistance. What? Oh, you mean he longed off resistance, you're saying? Maybe, yeah. I don't trade bank holidays. I can help you recover the funds. Okay, you've been spamming that the entire live stream. I don't know who you are, so I'm just gonna block you, bro. Short? I'm just tape reading. Still need 1049 on my payout. You got it, bro. So with 40% will be the best risk management. You just have to take your profits around the same. Don't overthink of it. The biggest mistake, everyone always overthinks the consistency rule. If you just trade normally, you're probably going to be 40% consistent anyways. Everyone always overthinks it. Once you pass alpha futures, you still pay the monthly fee? No, sir. You do not. Happy Thanksgiving to Canadian. Thank you. Silver bullish shorts. It's 11 a.m. now. It's probably way too late. I need 1.5K to start a requested payout. So close. I believe in you, bro. Are you Arab? Yeah. It should really speed up in here if it's bearish. I am on YouTube. But we're about to end the stream shortly. This is the last tape read that I want to study, I guess, or watch. What was your London low? London low was sitting at 24787.25 on the mini. I can't write in Arabic in the stream. Auto deleted. Sorry, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I needed 49 to request and open 9 contracts. Yeah, I don't know about that one, bro. I think that might be a little bit greedy. You could have just taken another. Listen, why does everyone do this? If you let me tell you guys my last piece of advice, and I'm gonna end the stream. Also, I still think this goes lower, but I'm not gonna sit here and watch. If you're close to a payout or passing the account, say you're $100 or $200 away, don't just like open a trade with a lot of contracts. Like, think about it. All you have to do is hit a 1 hour trade, risk 50 to make 50. Why you gotta do anything else? Like, why you gotta do the literally the worst thing possible, right? You gotta think about it in probabilities. Like, you're trying to pass. What's the smartest thing to do? Over leverage when you're that close? That is not the smartest thing to do. De-risk the hell of that trade. Risk $25 to make 50. Take 1 micro, you know? Like, size way down. It should be 1 micro, not 9. Now you're gonna risk all your profits to make $50. You know, it's not worth it. Because people always do it. They're like, oh, as soon as it goes up, I'll just take 1 point, 2 point. What if it doesn't go up? Are you willing to risk all your profits for that? You know, is that something you're willing to do? If it is, then okay, I guess it's fine. But I would assume most people don't want to risk all their profits. You recommend to trade micros to reach 1.5K? I only trade micros personally. I know, but first payout on 50. First payout on 0 is 50%. I think every payout is, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it doesn't matter. You probably shouldn't over leverage ever, let alone when you're $50 away. The surgery was good, bro. Thank you for asking. My vision is not perfect, but I can see. And they said it will get better as time goes on. I'm using Tradeify, but they request 3K buffer. Yeah, I don't like Tradeify for that reason. But solid firm. How much would you risk on a 100K pass funded account? I would personally risk $250, no more than 400. Why are you drawing lines on graphs? I don't know what you're saying, but it's part of my ability to read price. Thank you, very good, sir. Got you, brother. Any trades? I don't trade bank holidays personally. I should wear blue light glasses. Yep, I will look into getting those. Do you have rectangles and lines on graphs? There are rectangles and lines on the chart, yes. That's a good observation, my man. How much you risk on 50K funded? Right now, I'm risking 250, but I might go back down to 150. We'll see how I feel. I don't know. You should put a rocket below price so it bounces up. How much will you risk per trade to pass 50K eval? I'm going to be honest. When I trade 50K evals, guys, I risk pretty much like 1,000 per trade. Like, I'm going for it in 1 day, 2 days. If you want to be more safe, 500 is safe. It's buffer 1 time. You need to keep getting it after payout. Once you have a buffer, you'll be good. Background code. All my stuff is on my most recent YouTube video. All my chart colors and templates and stuff. EP by ICT knew was going to sell before it sold off. On Friday? I did see his post. I couldn't say that much. Today's Thanksgiving for me, yeah, but I had Thanksgiving dinner yesterday. How much time you been trading? 2 years. YouTube is monetized, yeah. I make around 150 to 200 a month off YouTube. Wee longs, I guess I wasn't done. Same here, got dinner tonight, 18th birthday. Nice, bro. Any interest today? I don't trade bank holidays. Hey man, avoid. Hey man, avoid you feel it's beneficial. Would you feel it's beneficial to have financial planning tailored to traders? What do you mean by financial planning? How to stream on YouTube? OBS Studio. Are you profitable? I mean, I would say so for sure. Where would be your first entry at New York Open after this week? We tape read entry here. We tape read entry here. And we tape read entry here. Live market. It's a long a good choice right now. I personally think this day's probably sideways. But you can if you want. And you... are you there where you wanted 2 years before? I never set a time restriction. I'm doing, I'd say, a lot better than I thought I would be. But I don't like to set expectations like that. The only expectation I set for myself was do the best I can, and I think I am doing that. So, and I thought about it. I feel like if I had something that would help me keep me consistent, I mean, you should set a system and rules for yourself. Yeah, I only live off trading. I don't have a job or anything else. No course, nothing. Wing and long, I guess I wasn't done. Yeah, it might go higher. I think it might get sideways in here. Anyways, guys, this was a pretty good stream. I appreciate you guys coming through. Tomorrow's our first trading day of the week. Um, this is my chart. Some of you probably can't see it. Good macro delivery in there. We're looking pretty range bound now, I would say. So we'll keep this annotated. I'll post this. London High is still open, but it's hard to say whether or not we'll go there. I think the most obvious trade was this short and long. Everything else after that is pretty difficult to read. Hmm. But it was a good tape read. Um, See you guys live tomorrow. Hopefully we get similar price action, man, because that would be like absolutely amazing. If this was like a glimpse of the week, I don't know if that happens, but that would be absolutely great. So I'll post this in the Discord if anyone wants to see that. Up to you guys. And I will see you guys live tomorrow, first trading day of the week. Hopefully we get similar price action, but if not, we'll be fine. No big deal. Some stocks are red, FUTU's green. Yeah, I really don't see myself buying anything. SoFi is an option. How's SoFi red? You could try to get 10% on SoFi, but I don't like it personally. I really want to see lower on NQ. NQ is also pretty neutral. I have no. The daily chart is weird. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go. In my opinion, it's gonna go higher to these equal highs, but we'll see what happens. I guess. Anyways, appreciate you guys coming through. I will see you guys live tomorrow. About options on stocks. Um, yeah, I mean, you would probably want to get very into options if you want to start that. Let's just say that. I wouldn't just like I can explain it to you in 1 or 2 weeks, but you probably want to do a lot more. Got it. We gotta lock in together one day. AG from Jackson. Oh, we're both AGs. Yeah, we are both AGs, bro. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, first training day of the week, and I will see you guys next time. Peace, peace, peace.